Hello, guys, and welcome to another NGB sneak peek. I'm your host, as usual, Asim. I've got Gary with me. Gary, how you doing?
I'm very well, mate. You?
Yeah, not too bad, not too bad. And we're taking a look at a little preview, a little quick look, a little sneak peek at Grid 2, which is developed by Codemasters. This is preview code, just to warn you guys, so there might be a few technical issues here and there, but we are assured by Codemasters that they will be ironed out in terms of the game's final release. Gary, so what do you know about Grid, and have you played a previous Grid before?
Previous grid back in the day, I played it a little bit of it. I can't really remember too much of it.
Mm.
This one looks very sort of the first thing what sort of struck me was just how cinematic the opening scene was. But it looks like the racing is very much like the forefront of the whole game because it does look like it's very sort of in between sort of sim and arcade.
Yeah.
Um, but it looks great fun. So it's not like it's got a real bad learning curve. So it looks very good.
No, I totally agree with that sentiment there. This is me playing right now, not trying playing pretty well, I guess. This is the first race you're sort of just thrust into. As you said, it's quite cinematic the way you're sort of you start up a new career and you're sort of just thrust into it, sort of put in the deep end almost to test out and see how things are. But you don't have to finish first here. I think I finished eventually third, but it gives you a good sort of a good indication of that of how the cars might handle. This is a muscle car, so it's very drifty around the corners, and it's very sort of difficult to tame almost around those corners. So you see
Mm,
me hitting the barricades quite a bit. Um, and trying to sort of pass the cars, and it also shows that the AI is quite clever, quite aggressive. Especially in this race, it's quite aggressive. So it's
mm,
trying to like push me off the track and trying to like. There's a couple of times where I actually hit the barricades where the car behind me is actually sort of pushing me, towards the side. So it's difficult for me to try to stay on track. But I finished third. So that's sort of a nice indication of how the game is going to go. It's got the whole story aspect, as you said, but the racing is at the forefront. So you're like a newcomer to the scene, the USA racing scene. Your videos are on YouTube. There's a bit of buzz around you, and you want to build up your racing knowledge and get cars and sort of take the scene by storm almost. So it's got a nice little setup, Gary. You know?
yeah, definitely. And it's good that they have added a story element because there's so many racing games out there that just sort of it's just literally racing and there's no sort of depth to it. But
Yeah.
as they've added that sort of like story element, it does give it sort of that added sort of extra sort of lick of paint as such. So
Yeah.
it looks very cool, I must say.
Yeah, the whole setup's pretty nice. As I said, it gives you more of an incentive to race, I guess, rather than just go
Mm,
from random race to random race, which most racing games kind of do. But with Grid, I think they kind of had that with Grid in the first place anyway.
mm.
And I think Codemasters like to do that, which is kind of shown in here in Grid 2 anyway. So you've got your own garage, you've got your own little setup where you go on the computer and find races and go into races. So this first race we'll see coming up, it's the same car, same muscle car, is basically about trying to catch the attention of a racer and finish as high as possible. And we're going British,
Mm.
and we're going with a name that you might be familiar with, Gary.
Yeah, I noticed that. You chose my name, good man.
Yeah, well, it's Gary, so they spelled Gary wrong, which
Yeah,
kind of hurt me.
that's. I'm not happy about that, but we'll let it slide, I suppose. So.
Yeah, and we've gone with a difficulty level medium. I mean, you can go to hard, and you can choose the visual level of basically of the damage. So it can be visual only, or it can be full, and we've gone for full.
So
So
you've got a few options. That's a good
yeah,
thing.
yeah,
So
few options exactly. And if you do crash, so if you're on full, if you do crash, um, and and it's a bad crash, that's it, race over.
but yeah.
But you do have, which we'll see in this race, you do have the option to do like flashbacks, which have been part of Codemasters games for a while, I guess.
Mm,
But we'll see that a bit later. So this is a bit more of a difficult race. So it's a more of a sort of a windy track, um, loads of turns, and very sort of narrow road. So it's very, it's, you'll see me racing here. It's actually very sort of difficult to stay on the track, but I try my best. Try my
The
best.
first this track, the first thing that sort of struck me with this is it's very sort of you would see this track in like dirt, which is
Yeah.
obviously
Mm.
another Codemaster game. It's sort of very rally sort of feel
Yes.
to it.
Yeah.
So yeah, it does look pretty intense
Yeah.
this race, I must say.
It is a very intense race, but I do it well. I think I do it well.
You do,
Yeah.
yeah.
So, I mean, have you got any questions that you want to ask me, Gary, about Grid 2?
But the first one is disappointment for me. Really, is the fact that they don't have the cockpit view. I,
Yeah.
it just seems a bit strange because I know like me, you always sort of like using that view. It just I don't know. They must have their reasons for taking it out, but it's a
No,
bit disappointing, I must say.
I understand because like in the first race, if you go back and check it, I tried to find the cockpit view, but I only can find this bonnet cam basically, and it's like okay, I'll go with the bonnet cam, but I usually do like to go in the cockpit view because it gives you
Mm,
a more of an immersive feel into the race, I guess. Um,
definitely.
but hopefully with feedback they'll add that. Uh,
Mm,
so who knows? But this is yeah. So here you see the flashback moment. So I hit the barricade, and I thought, okay, I'll try a flashback. So I got all the way back to this point, and probably could use a flashback at this point now with this crazy little stunt coming up that a bit of dirt thrown into the mix, boom over that part. But I still managed to get back on the racing line pretty well and end up sort of finishing the race first. But as you'll see here, like again, sort of pointing out the AI seems really clever. It's defending the racing line right here, so it's
mm.
trying to block me off. And this is the last corner coming up as well, so it's trying to block me off. But me being me, I drift into style into the last corner onto the finish line. I was like, yeah, take that,
Awesome.
take that.
That is a good way to end a race. To
I
be
know, right?
honest.
I know.
Sliding into the corner like you did.
Exactly, exactly, exactly. But yeah, sort of touching on the cockpit view, I guess maybe with feedback, as this is preview code, they'll they'll decide in the final version what a
Mm,
cockpit can because it does add to the whole immersive feel. And Grid is sort of a pure racing game,
mm.
so it'll be good if they do add that in. So we're looking at another event here, and I want you to pick this particular event here because it shows off. I'm not sure if you've heard, Gary, the live routes.
I have, yeah, and it's fantastic. I love it.
Yeah,
It's just a great addition to having a racing game. It just adds more variety, more replayability. So,
yeah,
what can you say?
yeah.
And it sounds like it could be awesome.
Yeah, so just before I go into detail about the live routes, we're just checking out the two cars we have here for this particular race, BMW and Mazda. I went for the BMW because it has a bit more acceleration, but you can sort of look around the car. So just so if you're a car porn fanatic, I guess you can sort of view the car, all sort of nooks and crannies, I guess, of the car and have a look. But yeah, this going back to live routes again. So the live routes are basically it's one sort of area, and this is Dubai. But the track usually you have like a map in the left bottom hand corner. Here, as you see on the screen, you don't. You just have like two arrows sort of crossing. So what the track basically dynamically changes as you race, and it's always different. So I actually played this a couple of times afterwards, and it was the same area, but the track was completely different.
That's awesome.
So yeah, so at some points in the race, you'll probably see me like looking for a turn that's coming up, but it's not there. So you'll see me just smash into the barricade. So you've actually got to. So it's not like, say, for instance, Gran Turismo, where you can, you'll be on a track all the time and sort of learn everything about it and learn the braking points, learn where to sort of, where you can sort of easily overtake. You won't get that here in these live
Mm.
routes. You'll have to. It's all about pure skill, really, which is good.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah.
That'd be especially if you're in first. That's going to be even harder because
Yeah.
obviously if you're behind cars, you can see roughly where they're going,
Exactly.
so you know where to sort of aim. But if you're first and it changes, you've got to be really sort of with it to sort
Yeah.
of. Yeah, I think it's a fantastic idea personally.
Yeah, no, it's a great idea. And what I was thinking also, I was sort of outside of the box. This is single player, obviously, but it could be really good in multiplayer.
Oh
So,
yeah.
and like you can imagine all kinds of chaos in multiplayer. Like you're on a live route and no one knows what the track's going to be next, and you got sort of a big sort of mashup going on around the corner. But again, it brings to the front skill, I
Mm,
think, which is really good. Touching on another fact you'll see here in this race, as this car is different. It's sort of less drifty as the muscle car that I had previously. Oh, and that's a crash right there. Um, it's less drifty, so it sticks to the road a bit more,
mm.
which again shows that that Codemasters have that differentiation between types of cars. Um,
Def-
yeah,
Definitely, yeah. Like this sort of reminds me of more sort of touring cars.
yeah,
Um,
yeah.
but yeah, is this track to buy? Am
Goodbye.
I
Yeah,
right?
yeah, yeah.
Looks very cool,
Looks
and
really nice.
with obviously with live reach as well.
Yeah.
That's awesome, fantastic.
Yeah. So yeah, again, yeah. So you'll probably have in the final game, would imagine, loads of sort of different car types, forward drive, four-wheel drive, muscle cars, all that sort of stuff. And again, all sort of having different handling. And Grid had that anyway.
Mm.
So I think Grid 2 looks like it will take that step forward, which is always a positive, I think. Um, but sort of as we're sort of winding down this track, and I think this is coming towards an end. And I do finish first because I'm just that good. Uh, yeah, jealous, Gary? Jealous? Yeah, you're jealous.
I am meant to be. I'm jealous that you've actually sat down and played this because it looks fantastic. So
No, it is really good. It is shaping up to be a very good racing game. I think Codemasters don't usually disappoint anyway.
mm.
So it is shaping up to be a really really good racing game. It's got a nice little setup going on. Um, so just to sort of sum up, um, looking at the replay here, and we'll sort of go back to the desk where your sort of hub is, I guess. Um, we're pretty much looking forward to this, Gary, right?
Oh yeah, for sure. I love racing games. I've been a bit sort of away from them for a while because I've just felt a bit sort of detached from. They're just very similar. But this looks like it's gonna sort of bring me back to the sort of racing scene as such. It's very promising, especially like I say with the live reach, which gives it so much more. So yeah, looking forward to it.
Yeah, the live routes are really, really fantastic. It's a great sort of addition to the genre, sort of really adding that sort of innovation, I guess, to the racing genre almost,
Mm.
which is great to see. But yeah, Grid 2 shaping up to be a really promising racing game. Um, we'll be providing you more coverage as soon as we get hands on more code. So stay tuned to NGB for more videos, reviews, previews, everything. Gary, thanks for joining me.
No problem at all, man.
Okay, cheers guys. Thanks for watching. See you later.